Okay, can you hear me, man?
All right, folks, and we have our next runner here ready to go. We have Glan, who is going to be running Paper Mario, the
Yo,
1,000-year
gamers,
door any percent.
I am
And whenever
Glan.
you're ready there, Glan, go ahead and take it away.
Rerunning. TTYD any percent. Sure, most of you have heard of this game before. It's a classic second Paper Mario game. And any percent's a pretty wild ride if you've never seen it. So, I'm ready to take it away whenever. I guess I just go. Count it in. Alright. Alright. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I just didn't. Alright. Go in 3.
Yeah, sorry, you're all ready to go there.
Go. Alright, yeah, thanks for the good luck, everybody. So first things first, I'm gonna put my memory card back in. Start runs without the memory card in, which skips an autosave, saves a few seconds. There will be a couple times later that I save those, so I do want the memory card to be. Starting off here, just some intro cutscenes. The game is mostly fairly normal for a while, with just a couple skips dotted in here. But we have some fairly tight movement, routing and stuff. Well, so a little bit about this game. This is the second Paper Mario game, which is one of the Mario RPGs. In terms of RPG mechanics, it's a little simplistic, like overall JRPGs. But given that it's a Mario RPG, we have a few, fairly unique battle mechanics, specifically with action commands. So whenever we do any move in battle, we have to do some sort of input to basically make it be its full power. But not only when we attack do we have that, we also have that when we're guarding, or when we're getting attacked. So we can do either a guard or a super guard, where a guard we have to press A within an 8-frame window, taking damage, and it reduces the damage taken by 1. And a super guard we have to press B within a 3-frame window before taking damage, and it negates the damage entirely, and deals 1 damage back to the attacker if it's like a direct contact attack. And this is all pretty relevant because right away as we're landing in Roadport here, we're going to be getting into our first battle of the game, which is a boss fight of sorts. It's more a little short battle tutorial, where we fight against Crump, one of the main story with me. First I'm going to kind of jump into the cutscene here, get a little bit of extra distance while the cutscene's triggering. Let me get around Patch here, who is kind of notorious for getting in your way right at the beginning of the game here. You have to rescue Goombella from Crump. Now Crump has 5 HP, and with our jump we can do 2 damage. So it's pretty important that we're going to hit the super guard when he attacks us, because it'll do 1 damage back. Skip a whole turn, so I got it. That's a 3-frame window. Super guards in general will be pretty important battles in general. Especially boss battles. Well, I mean, not. There's no mandatory ones in the route, but it's always nice if you. There'll be another battle in Chapter 1. I want to do a super guard again to skip a turn, or just save time overall. So now I got out of that battle, and you may have noticed at the end of that battle, Goombella explained that I got 9 star points. So star points are essentially the experience points of this game. And how they work is a little bit different from most RPGs, where normally you get a static amount of experience from an enemy, and then you need more experience for each level. In this game, just like the original Paper Mario on the N64, you need a static 100 star points for every level, but enemies give you less as you level up in a needlessly complex system that I'm not even going to bother trying to explain. It doesn't really matter. But star points are pretty relevant in general, because whenever you level up, you get fully healed. And that can actually be problematic in some cases, because you'll see later that our tactic for dealing a lot of damage to beat the final bosses involves being at low HP. So if we level up at the wrong time and get fully healed, it's actually really bad for us. So I am actually going to have to not ever win any unintended encounter. So even if I accidentally get an encounter with a Goomba, I will have to run away instead of killing it. So you might see that in the sewers. Hopefully I don't. Because getting the counters is pretty bad. It's really bad in this category especially. Obviously, in any category of the game, if you get an unintended encounter, it wastes some time to having to run away. But every time you run away from a battle, lose 5 coins, which is actually really relevant for the money route in this category, which is pretty tight in the early game. You don't really have any good source of money. So I want to avoid as many encounters as I can. Yeah, here I got Goombella. It's the first partner we get. She doesn't really do much useful in battle, but she is going to be useful for some glitches later on. Which we'll definitely see later. Brings us to use contact lens here, so this is the earliest. You can do it right away, and we want to do it. We do need to eventually give her the contact lens so that we can get to West Rope. And it's fastest to break it now because whenever you order the contact lens, you have to reload Rogueport at least once for it to actually be in the shop, even if you're past Chapter 1, which is the other condition for it to be available. Yeah, so you start with 100 coins, so we're going to buy some items right away, and once we get to East Rogueport, on the way to Frankly, we're going to have a bandit who comes and steals half our coins. So I want to buy as much as I can early on. And hit that save block there. So hitting the save block there saves a little bit of time on text, because if you don't hit it, then Goombella tells you should save the game. But no matter what happens, you'll always get that text when you first hit the save block, so it's overall saving text if you just pointlessly get the save block text there instead of Goombella talking to you. And I'm going to use the save block later, so I'm going to get that text no matter what. Anyway, that was a lot to go through in the first few minutes. Nothing too major happens yet, it's mostly just cutscenes. So, the items I bought in the shop, I bought a honey syrup, which I'll be using on Hooktail, which is the boss of Chapter 1. I also bought fright masks and fire flowers. So fright masks are going to be useful when I eventually make my way to Glitzville. What they do is they can make or scare enemies into running away. The chance depends on the enemy. Varies. And fire flowers do 3 damage to all enemies, which is great in the early game. Because none of our attacks can actually even do 3 damage to a single target like our basic attack, so doing 3 damage to all enemies is really, really good early on. I actually did a very important thing here before entering the sewers, is I skipped the action commands tutorial that Frankly wanted to do to teach me the action command, which I don't need to know, because I already know how to do them, and it's just a waste of time. It takes like minutes to do, so it's really important that you say no. I'm gonna use my first fright mask here to scare away the Goombas, and to get 1 star point. So when you scare away an enemy with the Fright Mask, it doesn't give you any star points, but the minimum star points you can get from any battle is 1. So I get 1 overall. Yeah, I missed that cycle. It's unfortunate. Been messing that up lately. This is the first room coming up here where I have to dodge encounters, and this is actually a really tricky one, so let's see what happens. Another fire flower from that box. Alright, that was good. Overall, I'm gonna get 1 extra fire flower early on, which is a backup if I really need it, or ideally I'm gonna just sell it for some more money. I don't like this pattern. So I got a badge there out of that block. The badge pretty lucky. So badges in this game are kind of like your equipment. Every badge needs a certain amount of badge points to equip. You start with 3, and you can get more anytime you level up. And they have certain effects to them, like increasing your power, giving you new moves, or in a case of pretty lucky, it gives you a chance to dodge attacks. Not actually going to use this badge. Instead, I'm going to be selling it later. We're going to be collecting quite a few badges, purely to sell. Because you can sell badges for a lot of coins, and it's like the absolute easiest way to get money in this game. And then we're going to use that money to buy badges that are actually good. So here, getting the first paper curse. Can't believe I got cursed, man. Such a shame. Honestly, a rookie mistake. Go bad. What this actually does is, so there are 4 paper curses in the game, and they basically give you different transformations. Turn into this one lets you turn into a paper plane. Oh, that was a really whack hitbox. Alright, well now I'm gonna be down 5 coins, which isn't a big deal. I knew it. That was a really bad pattern. Okay. Well, I told you that this room was tricky. This is why. It's like, even though I could easily kill it off that first strike, I am still going to run away because I need to for my experience route. So here what you're supposed to do casually is you're supposed to go to the 1,000-year door, and it kind of introduces the story of the game, but I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm going to go straight to this room, where you would normally fight Blooper after going through all that. And I'm going to do a trick called a hazard respawn glitch, which in this case is double frame perfect. I have to do 2 frame perfect jumps in a row. And what that's going to do is it's going to stop the game from setting my hazard respawn point to be on the ground here, and it's going to be at 0, 0, which is in the middle of the room, just barely far enough to be on the island where the pipe is, to go to chapter 1. And unfortunately having some difficulty with it. I promise it's not actually as difficult as double perfect makes it sound. Okay, there we go. I fall in the water, and now my hazard respawn point is 0, 0, which is over here. And I can go down the pipe, which for some reason doesn't have its texture loaded. But it still works. And yeah, now we'll go to chapter 1. It cuts about 4 minutes out of prologue. Do it first try. Or 3 minutes, I'm not sure. Chapter 1 actually doesn't really have tech in it, like, at all. Kinda, it's just mostly how you would normally play it. Yeah, we don't really have a lot of options available to us for glitching or anything. See Hooktail, scary dragon terrorizing the town. We're gonna have to beat her. But this is the perfect time to explain why I'm jumping all the time. Oh, I wanted that. Whatever. Bad. So I'm jumping all the time here for a slightly faster movement tech called speed swapping. So in this game, basically because of kind of the weird perspective, they decided to make it so that Mario has a slightly faster speed moving backwards and forwards compared to side. So if you start moving a little bit backwards and then jump to the side, you actually keep the forward and backward speed when moving to the side, and if you can chain jumps together frame perfectly, you keep that speed. So I'm trying to do that everywhere that I can. This is a really bad Goomba pattern. And generally when you do this, you face backwards so that you can tell if you chain the jumps frame quickly, because Mario will stay facing backwards the whole time. And if you miss a frame, then you will turn back to the full. And you may have noticed as well, one of the side effects of skipping the blooper fight in Prologue like I did is that Frankly actually stays with us, because normally the only trigger to get rid of him is when you go to the 1,000-year door and then go back to his house. So he's going to just stick with us for a lot of the run. He's going to be tagging along for the journey. But he doesn't look very happy about it. You know, he's stuck here with us. It's just the way it is.
Oh yeah.
Gotta talk to crew to get permission for the gate. So there, I got an email. Those you kind of just get emails like at various points throughout the game. Mostly they're just kind of like fun little things to read. Not really important to anything. Just, you know, fun little immersion things. Eat. But one important thing about them is that it gives you a text explaining them, and it keeps giving you that text until you check your email, so I'm gonna have to check the email at some point. Here I got a POW block from the bush there, and I'm gonna use the POW block on these enemies. So there's two forced encounters here in Schwank Fortress. And their sole purpose is kind of just that they're largely invulnerable enemies at this point in the game, except for to the POW blocks that you find here. And it's kind of just meant as like a little tutorial to be like, hey, you should use items if you're having trouble fighting an enemy. So you get another one in this bush here. You know, nothing too, we just use the item to... And there's a little RNG factor here. So you notice that the background fell down here on the stage when I used the POW block. That's actually random. So sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And it costs a few seconds if it does happen, so ideally you don't want it to happen on either. It's not really a big deal. Ooh, I don't like those patterns. Okay. Reach the end of Schwank Fortress, where we're gonna do the 65th annual Super Fun Quirk Quiz. We gotta get 5 questions right. It's scripted, so I know exactly what the choices are. It's pretty much just dialogue. There's another little random factor here too, which is The first and last questions, he always asks you if you're sure, but the other three, he randomly does or not. And if he does ask you if you're sure, it wastes a little bit of time. That's another small little random thing. There's a lot of RNG in this game. Some of it matters, some of it doesn't.
I was just curious actually about the RNG. Is there any way to manipulate anything to make some sections of the game easier for yourself?
Not for humans. TASs can. The RNG updates, like every character of text that appears in the text box advances the RNG, stuff like that. So it's not really any way to keep track of it as a human. So we're in the deeper Schwank Fortress. We have to do 2 forced encounters with 4 fuzzies each to get the sun and moon keys. And conveniently, the fire flowers just wipe them out. So, just showing how good fire flowers are in here. These rooms on the side with the 2 fuzzies are kind of brutal. They move pretty randomly and unpredictably. So it can be hard sometimes to dodge their encounters. Alright, that was good. You probably noticed me pick up a badge as well when I entered here, which was multi-bounce, the green boot badge. That'll see a little bit of use later, but overall it's mostly for money. It gives you the ability to, or gives Mario the ability to jump in sequence on all enemies. I'll probably only use it once in the entire game. We get it for that, I guess. And money. Here's the gold fuzzy fight. This is another fight where I really want to get a super guard to get in 1 extra damage. He has 10 HP, and I'm going to do 4 at first, which is going to advance him into the second phase where he summons the... And if I can get the super guard on him on this turn, then I can finish him off with another jump and a fire flower. Otherwise, I'll have to do 6 damage to him, and I'll probably just take an extra turn at that point. Yeah, I missed it. The super guard's really hard to get for some reason. At least for me. One of those things that you're just not good at for some reason. This means I'm gonna have an extra fire flower, which is good for money. Yeah, well, now I got it second try. That's great, because that doesn't help at all. You always get the trick when it doesn't actually matter. Yeah, that's how speedrunning goes. Now we can get out of here and head back to far left of Petal Meadows to get into Oaktail Castle. I think I'm still gonna get this, yeah. Just to be really safe on money. If there are any donations, this would be an okay time. It's not really anything.
We haven't had any recent donations, but I will say that if anybody does want to donate, all proceeds are going to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and that is an excellent organization to donate to. They are wonderful advocates that support different aspects of those seeking help for mental illness, and obviously any money that we can put towards those types of things, especially in this day and time, are wonderful to see go ahead there. So there are also some great donation incentives this evening, including some artwork that is being given away at the end of the day, and all of them have a minimum $20 donation attached. So please make sure to get in on that before the opportunity goes away for this evening.
Yeah, very, very good cause. Definitely had my own share of struggles with mental health, so happy to support the cause. So here we get the second partner, which is Koops. Koops is much more useful than Kubella. He has a fair bit of use outside battle for glitches as well, but also will see some good use in battle as well, since he has Power Shell attack, which hits all ground enemies. Definitely gonna make a little bit of use of him for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd
I'm
be
very
heading
sorry. I was just going to say
inside.
we're actually going to have a host change over here. So Sibera is just about to join us. I'm signing off for the evening. So thank you very much, Glan, for letting me introduce you and to bring you into the beginning of your run, and all the best on that. And I'll be back tomorrow
Of
afternoon.
course.
You're welcome. Enjoy your evening there.
Hi, everybody. Just a quick hello from me, Sabera Messia, and I will be your host for the remainder of this run.
Not close call there. So I need to get a close call out of that box there, and generally speaking in this game, so when you get an item out of a box, it'll go either left or right, and for anything that you'll take like multiple passes, you'll walk past multiple times, you'll generally want to wait until it goes out of the box in the direction you're already, which is partly why I didn't get it before, partly that was just the Koopa being in the way, and then the Koopa might end up wasting a lot of time to get it later. But I do need it. So now we're finally heading into Hooktail Castle, the latter part of Chapter 1. A lot of interesting movement in this place. Also some tricky enemies. The second room of the castle, or I guess the first room inside the proper castle, is particularly notorious for just being really awful. We'll see how this goes. Part of why it's awful is I need to get the power bounce badge that's in here. That's already really bad. I don't know how that didn't hit me. So power bounce is a badge that lets you use the power bounce mode, where you bounce on an enemy in sequence until you miss an action command, or you reach the power bounce cap, which is a thing that bosses have. Bosses have a soft cap, so once you basically do that many power bounces, it becomes RNG whether you'll be allowed to continue or not, which is going to be relevant for Hooktail. This is going to be the only real way we have to deal a lot of damage in the game. I'll talk about that a little more when we get there. So we have the Red Bones encounter here, and all the Dull Bones. These all have 1 defense, and Red Bones has 5 HP, so the fastest way to deal with this fight is just to use 2 Fire Flowers. Since otherwise we wouldn't be able to deal more damage. So we get the first level up here, and we're going to do something a little bit interesting on this route compared to other categories, which is just go straight for BP, for badge points. So this is going to let us spend more badge points on equipping badges, which is really important, and we're only going to level up a few times over the course of this run, so it actually is very valuable that we just get badge points. But it's also really important for our end game strategy that we have 5 maximum FP. I'll talk about that more later. So I'm going to do flip skip. The intended thing in this room is that you're supposed to use Koops to hit this red switch to the right here, which turns the stairs around to the left so that you can reach that key. But you can actually just make that jump across there, that ledge, which not only saves time but also gives us a star piece, and we need to get 5 star pieces to get 1 badge later in the game. it's one of the fastest star pieces that we can get that's kind of in our way. It's not what you do, Mario. You didn't turn around. You see what Koops is useful for in the overworld. You shoot him. You shoot his shell to hit distant things. You can also hold him out and move, and hit the thing when you're in a different position. So. That's also going to be really important for gameplay. Use him to pick up items, which is probably going to see Koops for most of this run, actually, because he's burners in the game. Barely made it out of that room with like, no time to spare at all. It was so tight. It's so tight, they give you like no time to get out of there. Definitely didn't get out with like 30 seconds left. So we're getting the second paper curse here. And this one gives us paper mode. So we can hold R and then we turn sideways like this. And this is the most useful paper curse in the game. It's kind of broken, it leads to a lot of exploits. So technically speaking, what happens when you do that is your hitbox just becomes smaller. So even though Mario is made of paper, he actually has a cylindrical hitbox. I need power multi-pass on. So I'm gonna quickly check my email here too. As I mentioned before, I need to check it once in order for it to not give me the text explaining emails again. It's a little bit faster to just check the menu. It was like 35. Okay, fair enough, Ice. That was even closer than I thought. Anyway, so as I was saying with paper mode, so Mario is a cylindrical hitbox, and when you're in paper mode, you just have a smaller cylindrical hitbox. Unless you go through tight gaps like in between jail bars. That castle key. And it might let me squeeze through a crack in a door frame as well. I don't like. Might just let us skip like most of the game or something. I don't know about that one though. You have a little trick coming up here called window jump, which is a free trick, by the way. So you're supposed to use Koops to hit the switch across the gap there to make the second bridge, and then you jump from it out the window, but you can actually just make the jump straight to the window without hitting the switch. It saves about 8 seconds to do that. Of course, if you fail it, you fall down and you have to climb all the way back up, so... That's not fun. Good thing nobody has ever failed that trick, ever. Definitely. I grabbed a life shroom there off the ledge. Life shrooms are useful because they revive you when you die, kind of like a fairy in Zelda. But this one we're not actually going to use for that. We're just going to sell it for 20 points. I'll get more life shrooms later towards the end of the game, but this one we need just for early money. Yeah, no one's died to Helmet Head, no. So this encounter is pretty much impossible to avoid. Technically it's possible, but not in any way that's viable or worthwhile. So we just gotta run away from it. Trap this dull bones in the block. Out of the way. It's coming up to the end of Oakdale Castle here. I'm gonna going to be fighting Hooktail, who's the big dragon. And Hooktail is going to require me to do, ideally, some very high power bounces. And it's actually really, really difficult to do optimally, so we're going to see how that goes. I'm actually, like, not good at it. Oh my god, he's giving me the bad pattern. This bridge is awful. Like, sometimes, like you saw there, the paratrooper will just, like, turn around and not notice you, and the only real way to get past him is to bait him and then go around. So if he just kind of just doesn't notice you, it's really hard to bait him without getting hit. And think for this Goomba, we bait him to go against the wall. That kind of stops his movement for a little bit. You can get around him. Helmet Head is free and easy. I'm gonna take your word for it. I probably died to it when I played Zelda 2 casually, but no. Game is possible. Speaking of incentives, we do have a bid war to name Yoshi later. Yeah, I gotta focus on Hooktail here. So.
Excellent reminder that we do have the Name the Yoshi partner incentive. Currently, NAMI is in the lead with $1,509. We also have Zippy in second place with $75, and Yoshi and Yossi both in last place with $0. Folks, I also want to remind everyone that we do have several prizes that we will be raffling off tonight. A Ninja Gaiden Ryu Perler by Kinda Nerdy Housewife that you can enter in to win with a minimum $20 in cumulative donations. And we're also raffling for the same minimum donation total 2 of the Renaissance's painting prints. And so if you have donated at least $20 by the end of tonight, we'll be closing out entries a little bit before the end of this run. You can win one of those awesome prizes. And your donations tonight also go toward entries and prizes later in the marathon as well. And if that wasn't enough, if the prizes weren't enough, if naming Yoshi wasn't enough, we're raising for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization, dedicated to building better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness. They started as a small group of families gathered around a kitchen table in 1979. Today, they're an alliance of more than 600 local affiliates and 49 state organizations who work in your community, that's right, your community, to raise awareness and provide support and education that was not previously available to those in need. We're also $50 short of $2,300, so get those donations in.
Yeah, it sounds like I should meet, that milestone. Alright, Hooktail is down after some slightly suboptimal power bounce. Pretty reasonable fight with next. We're gonna get the first crystal star here, the diamond star. And there is exactly one reason why we're actually beating chapter 1. It's not that we need all the crystal stars to win the game, because we don't actually need all the crystal stars. Now would be a good time to talk about something in the game called what we call the sequence value, which is a way the game tracks progress. So for a lot of things that are basically a part of the game's linear story, it basically tracks your position through it as a singular value that kind of advances by 1 every time. And this is used to basically determine what a lot of things should look like in some areas and the layouts of things. So for example, like if I have a sequence value that's in chapter 7, which we'll get to later, then when I go to chapter 2, it thinks that while currently I'm somewhere in chapter 7, which means I already did chapter 2, and just It's kind of just open and I can walk in, even though I never actually did it. And that's relevant for this, because in order to get to Chapter 2, which I'm going to have to do to get the Super Boots, the only way to open the path there is to have Punio open it, and he's only there immediately after Chapter 1, which is where you're supposed to be. So the only reason that I'm beating Chapter 1 is to be able to open the path to Chapter 2. Other than that, I would not have to actually beat the chapter. It would be able to leave after paper mode. Fortunately not, and I have to sit through a lot of cutscenes here. So, just like the original Paper Mario, we have Peach intermissions where we control Peach in the place that she's being held captive, but then there's also going to be a Bowser intermission where we keep track of Bowser's story, where he's an incompetent buffoon failing at getting the crystal stars. It's kind of the comic relief, even though the whole game is kind of silly to begin with. See, here this is the Exnaut Fortress. They're kind of the main villains this game. This time they're the ones who kidnap Peach for various purposes. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. You know, normal everyday things after you've had a long trip, being taken to the moon. And talk to this computer. And the computer is actually in love with Peach and wants to learn about what love is. So, you know, it's kind of weird, but she teaches the computer love. Which honestly, like, I think everyone should have a little love in their hearts. Computers. But yeah, this is mostly just 6 minutes of cutscenes, so feel free to chime in with any donations. If there are any. Otherwise, I'm just kind of making up banter. What is love?
Just another quick reminder about all of these wonderful prizes that we have. Additionally, I do want to actually take an opportunity to remind folks again that those prizes are cumulative donation totals across the entire marathon up until when the drawing is done. And on Sunday night, we are going to be doing drawings for a number of beautiful paintings. A really lovely Trouble in Onett painting by Lady Galaga, as well as 3 beautiful pixel art paintings, 2 Bubble Bobble and 1 Legend of Zelda from Bammer Time. And both of those you are eligible for with $100 in total donations across the marathon. So if you were to donate $20 tonight, enter for the perlers, enter for the paintings, and $20 tomorrow night, and then $60 on Sunday, you would be entered for a lot of different prizes, lots of chances to win, and also benefiting a really great cause. So please don't miss out. The really lovely Legend of Zelda painting is actually just on screen, so you can see what it is you're entering to win. Just a quick little reminder for everyone about all of these awesome prizes and our wonderful cause that you are supporting by entering to win them.
I actually have some bad news. I'm pretty sure I said that I like fried eggs in this cutscene, which is actually 1 frame slower than saying that I don't like fried eggs, so that's pretty bad.
I think the real question is, do you like fried eggs?
I mean, I like eggs for sure. They're pretty
I
good.
feel like it was worth the frame loss, to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's faster to say you don't like fried eggs. Finally free. And I'm gonna go into Kroop's backyard here with paper mode, and I'm gonna get the best badge in the game, Mega Rush P. Just sitting in his backyard. So what Mega Rush P does is it makes it so that if your partner, any of your partners is at 1 HP, they will do +5 damage with all their attacks. Which sounds pretty good in a speed run where we can control everything and be at exactly 1 HP. Wanna be. That's definitely going to see some use, to say the least. I mean, I have 0 coins, so... Might be able to farm some coin block. I probably could have gotten more than that, actually. No, why would you do this to me, game? I really needed that badge, and it went just perfectly wrong way. Making up some of the money that I lost. So if you remember what I mentioned earlier with speed swapping, allowing me to move faster, I'm going to attempt to use that to skip away platforms. Damn. This is actually really hard, honestly. It might not look that hard, but it is really hard, especially when the game just doesn't register your input at all. It's fantastic.
A video game eating inputs? I never.
Yeah, never heard of that in my life. So now I have to go to the 1,000-year door, as you are meant to do after every chapter. Be one of only 2 times in the run that I go to this room. We're intended to do so 8 times.
Going there twice sounds a lot faster than going there 8 times, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it does. Especially when every single one is like a minute-long cutscene. Followed by more cutscenes. So we go here with the star, and then the game will show us on the map where to go next. But in this case, it'll indicate to go to Bogley Woods, which is not where I'm gonna go. Yeah, so here's just like seconds where I can do nothing.
So, if you're gonna be here for 50 seconds, why are you coming to the 1,000-year door now?
Yeah. It's a good question. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have to open up the pathway to Chapter 2, and that requires a sequence value to be at the right spot. So that is right after this cutscene, basically. You have to watch this. Then I'm going to come all the way back down here, and then do a lot of sewers movement. Because right now it's beginning basically the sequence before entering Chapter 2. So that's where I'm going to go back down in the sewers and meet Cuneo, and he's going to open the path up to Bogley Woods. And we need that path to be open. Even though I'm not actually going to go in there yet, we need it to be open. The only time in the game that we can actually open. It's an unfortunate detour.
So is this a case of like if you advance the game's internal counter too far, then you lock yourself out of being able to do something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wild.
There are several things that will actually revert the sequence backwards, but there's not too many of them, which is unfortunate compared to the original Paper Mario, which has a ton of them. Glitch runs of that game are wild, you just go wherever you want, but in this game we have to still mostly be in order for most categories.
I remember learning about the speed runs of the original. That game seems really broken.
Yeah, it is.
This is still incredible, though. Like, the fact that you can clear this game only going to the 1,000-year door twice.
Guess again. Yeah, I accidentally said guess again, which is funny, but also waste time. But the important thing is that it was funny.
Funny strats. It's good when they save time, but just being funny is enough. Yeah, Ice, I'm not excited about it, I'm gonna be honest. I'm the one playing the game. I'm probably the least excited. It's actually coming up real soon, so I'm going to be performing a trick pretty shortly called Teleporter Room Early. So the Teleporter Room is a room in the sewers on the west side, where you come out from the teleporter from the X-Naut Fortress, which is Chapter 7. So it's intended to be a one-way exit, but we're going to clip inside of it to get to Chapter 7 early. And it is a ridiculously hard clip to do. It requires a precise angle on the analog stick, and requires releasing a button and pressing another button on the same frame, and that has to be done in a 1 or 2 frame window, depending on your starting position. So it is one of the hardest tricks in the game. What?
No, the paper, it doesn't involve the roll. That method is apparently even harder. It's just paper mode. So as I mentioned earlier, the paper mode decreases your hitbox size. So I'm going to be trying to do what's called an spin jump, where I'm going to release R to exit paper mode and jump on the same frame. And that's going to give me a normal speed jump, but with the hitbox size of paper mode. And that combined with the precise stick angle is going to allow me to squeeze into a very tiny gap in the collision in the door frame here. And this is going to take a long time probably, because it's incredibly difficult. Hopefully not. It's a very neat trick from a science perspective. It's really frustrating. Fortunately, I did not get it for a try like yesterday. Alright, cool.
Huh?
That's good enough.
Very nice. We also have just hit $2,300 thanks to a $50 donation from Anonymous, who says, "Why did the donation cross the road? To get to the other prize. Yuck, yuck, yuck." Thanks, Anonymous.
Alright, this is the Exnot Fortress. This is part of Chapter 7. And I read that red note there, which... Oh, God. That's really bad. That's really, really bad. I need my money back. I need my money. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I don't get all my money back here. Honestly, I have no idea. Okay. Crisis averted. That was really bad. I need to have 10 coins for something coming up. Cannot afford.
Well, you got them back, at least.
But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I read the red note in that room, which tells you the password to input for a room higher up in the fortress, the elevator key. Which is kind of weird that it sets the sequence, because you don't actually have to read it before entering the password. If you can just enter the password because it's the same every time. But it still sets the sequence to read it for some reason. It's not actually a mandatory thing to do. But it's a really good thing that it does, because it allows us to set our sequence value into Chapter 7. And I was mentioning earlier, why did he give me the worst possible pattern? Why did you give me the worst possible pattern, my dude? Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind. Do this at least.
So you read the note to set the sequence value.
Yeah.
And that means that the game thinks you're in Chapter 7.
Yes. Now thinks I've done everything up to Chapter 7.
That's so weird.
Chapter 7. Yeah. Which we actually have to do to make this elevator on the left work. Because that's also part of the sequence. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to get up here. Anyway, so we enjoyed the 65th annual Super Fun Quirk Quiz so much, now we have the 66th annual Super Fun Quirk Quiz. Which is the same thing. Just different questions. I don't know how I'm getting these right. I mean, I didn't play any of this part of the game, so... Just getting kind of lucky here. That singular note holds the power of the universe. It's true. I'm getting the elevator key. This is to open the elevator on the right that goes to the lower floors, which I'm not going to go to yet. We're mainly here just to advance our sequence to Chapter 7, so that we can head into the tree in Chapter 2 for boots. But while I'm here, I'm cleaning up some of the stuff that I need to get later, that I would need to get later.
Wait, you're in Chapter 7 so that you can get boots in Chapter 2? How does that work?
Yes. Because now when I go back to Chapter 2, because the game thinks that I have done everything up to Chapter 7, it's just like all completed there. I don't have to do Chapter 2 at all.
But the boots are still there.
Boots are still there. For some reason. The game is very inconsistently programmed.
I love spaghetti code.
I do too. I'm gonna make yet another small detour first still. I'm gonna first do a trick here with the door of the tunnel called jump storage, and it's gonna allow me to do a super jump later. So in order to do this, I have to get Coops off screen. And then I'm going to press X to fire Coops. And press A to open the door 2 frames later, which I didn't get. If I do it correctly, put me in a weird state where basically some values associated with jumping are set. It'll let me just kind of jump infinitely instead of doing it one time. I am having trouble with this for some reason. This is such a finicky thing. Okay, now I got it, because I saw Coops kind of jut to the right. Now, I have to be very careful to not jump at all before I get to the spot I'm going to use this. Which you can kind of easily do by accident, since a lot of things in the game require pressing A. 2 more quick star pieces here. Bring me up to 3 in total. And I'm going to use this over in East Rogueport to get the double dip badge out of this chest. First I have to pay Gus to let me pass, which is why I needed 10 coins. And yeet. And now because of how hazard respawn zones work, I can just respawn back up here because I didn't set the hazard respawn down there at all. And I'm going to take on one of the troubles. A very weird thing about the trouble center is that it asks you if you want an explanation on how it works, and if you say no, he just tells you to go away. So you have to listen to him explain it, even though it gives you a choice to say no, which doesn't make any sense, but I don't know who came up with that one.
It's sort of like a weird twist on "But Thou Must," because it lets you exit, but you can't proceed unless you say yes.
Yeah. This here is actually an example of inconsistency. So even though this passage can only be opened at a very specific spot in the sequence, whether it's open or not is determined by an area flag instead of being part of the sequence, which doesn't make any sense because it's completely unlike everything else. But hey, I mean I wasn't the one to make the game, so I don't think I was supposed to get it, actually. Now there's no cutscenes here. Walk right in. I'm gonna swap to Goombella here in the background. It's a little bit faster to do in the background because there's no animation. The partners changing. See, look, they're all rescued. Everything's fine. I totally rescued them. All good. Now it's gonna be pretty much a straight shot to the super boots, except for one complication, which is that they're behind. They're normally behind doing the fight with 10 jabbies, where the punies fight them and then blow up their hive that's blocking the doorway, and the hive that blocks the doorway is still there. That's not part of the sequence. That's an area flag. So I'm gonna have to do a clip to get past it. Which is one of the more notorious tricks in the room. But there are some ways to make it easier. Hopefully it won't give me any trouble here. This is aptly named Jabby Hive Skip. So do a Goombella buffer here where I press X to use Goombella and then quickly afterwards move, and it can cancel the loading zone working. So now I can get into the loading zone triggering it. And then I don't even know how to explain it. That's like an unspin jump out of the pause menu. And it some way lets you bypass the wall. back here. You can kind of just walk around out of bounds here.
Wow.
And get the super boots.
That is so weird. And I've said that about several things already in the short time that I've been here with this run.
This game is very weird.
Like, very impressed by how weird this is.
And so what's now weird is that the chest is there and it's closed and stuff, but opening it has now set my sequence back to a point in chapter 2. Now I'm no longer in chapter 7. Which means when I come out of here, it's going to think that I'm initiating a fight with the Jabby, and I'm going to immediately lose because I don't have any pumies. Damn, I can't believe I just lost that. It's like... Shame. So, there's one kind of minor consequence of it going back to chapter 2, aside from that, which is that the X-Nauts that are in here only exist here, here during chapter 2 properly and not coming back later. So now in this room up here, there's going to be an X-Naut where there wasn't before, which is why I opened the door on the way down, or unlocked it. Just because it's a pain to do with the X-Naut there. I think I can get to the door here. Okay, that was really close. Now, even though I'm at the point in the game where the punies are trapped in a cage, I don't care. They can stay there. See you later. They'll get out again, I promise.
So you say, but I can't believe you just leave the punies locked up like that.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, don't worry, folks. The punies will be all right. We're just making fun here.
I kind of agree with that. I do like the aesthetic of this area, but this chapter, gameplay-wise, is kind of terrible. It's like better in the speedrun, but somehow it's still terrible. Make our way through this hidden passage here to get damage dodge. Another badge that I'm gonna sell. Money. I probably should have made a safety save, actually. I'll be fine. So here I have to do 2 more hazard respawn glitches, which are frame perfect jumps. To respawn me in the middle of the room on top of the big block. Okay, there's one. So if I miss it, I have to just reload the room. I do have a mushroom as well. If I get too low HP. I don't have to use it. I can tell that I got it if he jumps more slowly. Because when you do a frame perfect jump out of the door, you're actually doing a speed swap. Where you're taking slower horizontal speed to the back to front speed, or to back to front move. Rather be early than late. Okay. I have 2 HP, right? Okay. Because I have to do another one here. So if I hit this switch without touching the ground, it still doesn't update my hazard respawn location. So I can spawn back up there again. And now I can get in this pipe to go to Oshley Heights. It's chapter 6. I'm gonna read this note, and because my sequence is before the point that I should be reading this note, it just advances me all the way there.
So we went 7 to 6.
Yes. And I'm gonna go in there to get the Garnet Star, but you are required to use the Ultra Boots to get up to a switch in order to get through there. So in order to bypass that, I'm gonna use another Super Jump, which I'm going to get jump storage from an email trigger on the train, which is a one-shot thing if I miss it, so I'm gonna do a safety save. It's not terribly difficult though, so hopefully I don't actually need them. This is actually a unique thing to the US version of the game that you can do this. The Japanese version will be here. Alright. So my goal here is once again keep Koops off screen, except I'm going to do this just by moving, because I can shoot him. Alright. And I'm gonna, do backwards jumps and attempt to Koops buffer into the email, which is similar to Goombella buffer. Press X and then the direction a couple frames after. And since I hit the email trigger without turning around, I knew that I got it there. So this puts me into jump storage where I have basically a value initialized that says kind of I'm jumping, which gets set for 1 frame during the animation of kicking Koops. And so when I go into the Sanctum here and step up on the ledge at the end of it and gain vertical speed from that step up and then hold A, it's going to just move me up infinitely at the vertical speed until I release A, because it thinks I'm jumping and I have vertical speed, so it just moves me upwards. Really hoping I don't botch the movement here. A little tricky, but not. And also I agree, Linguini. Okay. I know it looked close, but that's my setup to get up here. But it's not actually that close. And I just have to walk past a few boos. Garnet Star. And there is a particular reason why I'm getting the Garnet Star. Just that in order to get to Glitzville, normally you need to use the blimp ticket so that you can get onto the blimp. But we're actually going to bypass that, and the only way that we have to bypass that involves using the email trigger from when Peach emails you after beating Chapter 6 and getting off the train. That is the reason why we are getting the Garnet Star here. Otherwise, Chapter 6 doesn't do anything for us, because the actual only thing that you need in order to get into the Palace of Shadow is to beat Chapter 7 and be at basically that sequence point of having beaten Chapter 7. Yeah, that is such a hard chapter. You have no idea. Yeah, like, even when you play it out, it's not hard. It's half cutscenes, walking.
Well, you make it look easy, so to speak. I do have to say that, like, the intricacy of why things are being done in the order that they're being done is just, like, mind-blowing. How do you keep track of all of this?
It's a lot. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's just practice until you, like, get it ingrained, right?
Yeah.
But still, how do you keep track of all of this?
I'm actually doing an alternate form of speed swapping here. Each, if you hold the diagonal for at least 2 frames and then horizontal, you will keep that increased speed for 14 frames. So in theory, if you kind of stutter a little bit, you can go very slightly faster. Yeah, here we just have another Peach and Bowser mission. We kind of have no real choice. But, you know, we get to find out that Frankly is actually working for the X-Nauts. Nobody expected that turn. That plot twist. Chapter 6 is the roughest time in real life. Okay, I mean, for all the memeing, the gear room in Riverside Station is probably the most interesting room in the game for me. You know, we will not be seeing in this run, but also, like, you know, the computer worked with Peach like one time. She sent one email to Mario and already got caught, which is I don't know what she expected. Anyway, so I guess I'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up. So as I kind of offhand mentioned, we're going to be going to Glitzville next. We need to go through the minor league first half of the Glitz pit in order to get Yoshi, which you all probably suspected based on the incentive to name Yoshi. Actually, most of the route revolves around having to go to Glitzville to get Yoshi. Otherwise, it kind of just goes straight to Chapter 7. But we need Yoshi to beat the game.
Wait, you need Yoshi to beat the game?
We do. They're a very, very, I don't even know the proper adjective to describe Pal Skip. It's really one of the speedrunning tricks of all time.
That explains so much. I complete side note, I love that Bowser has infinite lives.
Yeah.
Explains why he keeps coming back.
Also, also this cutscene has the best text box in the game. It's really important that we show appreciation to how good this text box is. Pain. I relate to that
The
so
perfect
hard.
encapsulation of speedrunning.
I'm actually going to save here, since right after this, I'm going to be Limp Ticket Skip, which is another one-shot jump storage off an email trigger. If I fail it, I will need a backup save. It's not that hard of a trick, so shouldn't need it, except I will now that I said that I shouldn't need
Is
it.
how it goes.
That's how speedrunning works. So, yeah, similar to TRE earlier, I have to find the crack in the collision here, and then run spin jump through it. This one's easier because I just have to go straight up through it. I just have to first position into it. I can flip through the train. Just have to line up properly. Then line up properly and then set up to Coop's buffer into the email. think that worked. And I'll get Y speed off the train tracks. Yep. And down pipe.
I have.
We just super jump over the invisible wall there. The invisible wall there is 350 units high, which is about 10 times Mario's normal jump height. They really did not want us to get into it, but we still got into it.
I have no idea what just happened, and I'm so impressed.
Yeah. Power of super jumps. Alright, so now I'm gonna leave Glitzville. We're done here. Oh, wait, I forgot to get Yoshi. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back. I knew I forgot something. Damn. Well, we get to listen to the blimp music for longer.
I mean, I'll be honest, I forgot about Yoshi too, so.
Obviously, I'm memeing. We do have to leave Glitzville. The reason is that what normally happens in the game is that when you beat Chapter 3, and your sequence goes to the post-Chapter 3 state, you are expected to leave Glitzville before you can come back to fight as a returning champion. Because obviously when you finish Chapter 3, you're still in Glitzville. So even though I'm coming here for the first time with a post-Chapter 3 state, I still have to leave Glitzville before it lets me go back to fight. Which makes perfect sense, I know. Also, this guard's blocking the door, but I'm just gonna go in anyway.
Extremely normal logic.
Extremely normal gameplay, yeah. Alright, so here's where we enter RNG Heck. We have to do 10 fights, and every fight has a condition that we have to follow in order to pick up. And the condition we get is random, and some of them are very bad and make us lose a lot of time. And I think I already got one of them. I think I got Don't Attack in the first 3 turns, which is honestly just great. I love that sometimes the game just randomly says to not play the game for a long time. It's really fun.
My favorite part of playing a video game is not playing the video game, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't get it. So what I'm gonna actually do here is I'm gonna attempt to just super guard them all to death, since it doesn't count as attacking, and I have to kill them anyway. I don't know if that's actually faster, but certainly not if I don't manage to do it. This is an especially bad fight to get Don't Attack in 3 turns on, because the turns take a really long time. There's 5 enemies. No. Whatever. Could use Monkey Bounce there still, but it's fine. That's great. Love getting the worst RNG right away.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be. You get the worst first, because first is the worst. And then you save the best for last.
Yeah, this was actually the precursor to all the Wii games saying that you should take a break every hour. I believe on this one, it's don't use a special move, which is one of the ones that has absolutely no effect on what I'm playing. It's pretty great. For most of these fights, our goal is to use a Fright Mask and make them run away. Get very minimal star points from that, and also beat them very quickly. I was supposed to sort my inventory. I'll do it after. See, it's just over. I didn't even have to use a special move like they told me.
Were you not able to do that in the
Dark.
first fight because that counts as attacking?
Yes and no. Yes, it does count as attacking, but we do want to kill those who get a certain...
I see.
Basically, the star point route here is we want to get to level 3, but we want to be at most 5 star points into level. Otherwise, we will level up in a bad spot later. I don't sure what that condition was. I think it was don't jump. So there's 3 really bad ones generally here, which are don't attack for the first 3 turns, take damage 5 times, and don't use items. I also said I was going to sort my inventory. I didn't, so I should do that. There's also use a special move, which can be bad. That one's really bad if I get it on the Bob-ombs fight. For the marathon, I'm probably gonna just run away if I get don't use items, because I don't have to deal with the strats for being over leveled. You can just run away and start and do the fight again. Different condition. That was don't attack with Mario, which is fine. So this fight is 3 dull bones, and dull bones only have a 10% chance to run Great Mask, so we're just gonna kill them. They also only have 1 HP, so. They did. I mean, they were already dead, but now they're dead again. The Great Gonzales. I mean, not actually. Nobody named me the Gonzales. I don't know why everyone's calling me that. Alright, maybe this time I'll actually sort my inventory. How about that? We also have the luxury of the best part of this video game, which is that King K will not stop talking to you.
Well, King K is an extremely charming and charismatic fellow, so...
I suppose.
It is, in fact, a very good part of the video game. Is what I'm trying to say.
In this fight I got a peel 3 times, which is also not great, because it costs an extra turn to do. Probably doesn't matter that much. No. That's annoying. I have 2 extra fright masks, so just have to take an extra turn. Another extra turn. Okay. How dare you talk smack about my favorite yellow Koopa? I mean, I'd like him a lot more if he just left me alone sometimes. There's a good part of this where later 2 of the other fighters will be like, oh, what happened to King K? Where did he go? When he's standing right behind them. Something with the flags and stuff. Normally he's supposed to disappear towards the end of minor league. I did not really get what the condition was here. I think it was take damage 5 times. So
Good luck.
I'll double check here. Oh, it was 5 turns or less. Okay. A good 5. The Pale Piranha has a 30% chance to run. So sometimes it happens, usually it doesn't. It's not really a big deal if it doesn't. Next up is going to be Punk Rocks. This is another one we can't fright mask. They have only a 40% chance each to run. So I'm gonna use Thunder Rage on them. Got win before taking 20 HP of damage. Whatever. And it takes 0. I think this levels me up. No, not quite. Okay. I actually need to double check the route now. Okay. The star points here matters for next fight, which is the Bob-ombs. Bob-ombs we're going to use a Fright Mask on, but they have a mechanic where if you hit them, they become enraged, and then any attack blows them up. And that gives the star points of killing them. So depending on what your star points are here, you sometimes have to attack one with Fright Mask, because the Fright Mask is included in any attack blowing it up. But
That's so
I have
weird.
enough that I just use a Fright Mask.
If you use the fright mask, then they'll run away. But if you make one angry first,
Then it blows up. It's also why use a special move is a really, really bad condition on that fight, because you can't really do that without damaging them, and then you can't avoid getting star point. The only way would be to fail Showstopper and get really lucky. Overall, pretty decent conditions besides the first one. Kill 3 times, also not great. This is another win in 5 turns or less. So. But I did get only let partner attack, so Koops has these. Oh, no, this was. Yeah, I said it was. I said the wrong thing earlier. I said 5 or less. This is only partner. I'm tired. We level up, we get BP again. 9 is the requisite number of feet. I hope you all liked Frankly joining us for the ride, because he's going to actually, like, it actually turns out that he's a Yoshi egg, and it's going to hatch into Yoshi. I'm going to name Yoshi whatever the incentive says to name him, which I believe is Nami.
Yes, the current winner, or the current leader, is Nami, all caps. But there's still time. Zippy could win if
There's still time.
if somebody wants.
Drop like $1,000.
Yeah. If we get another, what is it, $1,435 for Zippy.
I haven't been running my own timer, so I'm not sure how this has been done. But we're gonna get a variable colored Yoshi here, unlike in yours. So normally what happens is the color of Yoshi you get is based on the time between when you pick up the egg and when it hatches into Yoshi. Because we never get the egg, it kind of just ends up being the time from when I start the game. It's just the entire IGT, and it goes in a loop of 20 minutes. So depending on your pace, you get a different color Yoshi. This is probably like an orange or pink. If I had to guess. So we have the Iron Clefts. This is an unwinnable fight. We just run away and lose. And you're supposed to use Yoshi to beat them to advance through Chapter 3. We're not going to do that. We're just getting Yoshi and leave. Pink. Okay, pink is a good yobby.
I think you mean a good Nami.
I mean, true. Me. Oh, he likes the name Nami. That's good. I also like the name Nami.
Absolutely.
The pink one is a very good boy, although not indicative of very good pace if in terms of trying to get PB, but this is some here. Been a pretty clean run. The funny thing is actually like a super optimal like world record level pace gets you a green Yoshi, which is kind of just ends up working out that way.
We don't need any
We
boring
not only
Yoshis.
need yeah. I forgot to get this star piece. Well, I'm getting it now. So we not only need Yoshi for some glitching to reach the end of the game, he's also going to be our main damage dealer. And we're going to... Part of our strategy here is we're going to make use of point swaps. Buy enough to fill up my inventory. I can buy another. Yeah. So what the point swap does is when you use it in battle, you swap a character's HP with FP. And we're going to use this to quickly get Yoshi down, or I guess down to 1 HP. Where he'll activate a bunch of badges that we're going to stack to increase his power gigantically. And his normal attack, Ground Pound, does 4 separate hits, so each one will get the power bonus. So he's going to do a lot of damage after we cure, which is what we're going to end up doing right now. We're going to have to do a little bit of chores just to buy some badges that we need, including the trouble that I took on earlier. So I'm doing my 5th star piece here, and the trouble I took on earlier is Frankie's trouble. Frankie is Pianta member who married Don Pianta's daughter. And he lost his wedding ring again. You'll find it. I don't know how he lost it, where he did, but I actually need to check. I need to pay Gus 10 coins again. If I didn't have enough, I'd have to sell badges first. But it's a little more optimal to sell them on the way back, just because of how the movement. I don't know, he somehow lost his wedding ring over here. Which I guess kind of makes sense, because this is where the rival gang hangs out, so maybe he was over here scouting or something. I'm not going to think too hard about that one. But after I give him back his wedding ring, he's going to give me the gold card, and the gold card is going to let me buy Power Rush P badges from the Pianta Parlor. I also forgot to go to the badge shop. Back to the badge shop. I was too busy talking about the lore of organized crime and rope. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna sell all my badges except for Mega Rush P and Double Dip, which are the two that I need. Get like close to 500 coins from this. So these sell for like 50, 75, a lot of money. Why we pick up so many badges throughout the run. Not selling, option buddy. Read my mind. Buy one Power Rush P him. They only have one in stock. I have to get the rest from the Pianta Parlor. So, what these badges do, Mega Rush P increases damage, your partner's damage by 5 if they're at 1 HP, and Power Rush increases by 2 if they're at 5 or less HP. And I'm gonna have a total of 5 Power Rush Ps on and 1 Mega Rush P by the end of this. I did not mean to buy one again. Slow. So I have to buy 136 Piantas from the Pianta Changer. This is like the casino, you're supposed to gamble here, but you can't actually like turn the Piantas back into money, you can only buy items with them anyway, so you kind of just have to exchange to a separate currency to buy items. Kind of annoying actually. Get a member's card. So they sell Power Rush P for 34 Piantas. Buy 4 of them. Plus the one I have from the badge shop. I'm gonna do something kind of important here, which seems very random, is I'm gonna go into the shop over here. I'm gonna immediately leave again. The reason why we do that is that it's gonna set a certain value in memory that will guarantee the game doesn't crash a little bit. So I'm going to be going back to the Exnaut Fortress here, and if you recall, the last room in the fortress before you get to Magnus 2, you activate a conveyor belt and then slide under a wall with Vivian on the conveyor belt, but we can't do that. We can't even activate the conveyor belt in the first place. And when you leave the room to fight Magnus 2, it tries to unload the sound of the conveyor belt moving, and because we never actually activate it, that ends up just touching like random memory. and depending on what memory is there already, it can crash the game. So by entering the shop there, we make sure it doesn't crash the game. Pretty cool.
More completely normal gameplay.
Yeah, completely normal gameplay. Here we do fast tiles. Normally the tiles go really slow when you're walking on them, and they kind of go fast before you step on them to indicate how the room is supposed to go. But if you go on here with Yoshi and then get off, it thinks you like stepped off the tile, so it moves them back to fast. You can just speed up that auto scroller there. I'm gonna use Yoshi here to do jump storage again by mounting Yoshi right as I pick up this item. Yeah, I'll toss that. Now I have jump storage again to do another super jump. Which is how I'm gonna skip the conveyor belt. Okay, I did not think it around that way. You just come over here. Get out of my way. So I can't jump, I also can't get onto Yoshi, because that will also disarm the jump storage. Alright, go. Get the card key, and I'm gonna do a safety save here. I haven't done one in a while. This room is a fairly challenging room execution-wise, and we have to do it in every category. Which sucks. I don't know why I jumped that early. It's so easy to fall down off these gears, and it loses like a minute if you do. It's really awful. See, it didn't crash. All good. Normal gameplay.
Excellent. We love to see normal gameplay.
I have to see some more pretty normal gameplay here when I fight Magnus too. This is, you know, boss of chapter 7. It's pretty hard, right? I'm level 3. There's no way that I can beat this guy.
Yeah, it seems unlikely. Are you gonna go level grind, or...?
Now we're just gonna try it out.
Marathon, totally safe to be experimenting. I approve.
Yeah, totally safe. So here we're gonna just waste the first turn. He will always do this drill attack. Nice super guard. Now I'm gonna use double... Oh no, that's really bad. That's fine. Oh, that's not fine. Well, I'm glad I made a safety. No.
What happened?
I used my item on the wrong character.
Oh.
By accident. I got stick flick back or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know if the game's gonna crash here or not. So it might crash and then I'll have to like leave and go to the shop again. I guess I should just let myself die because I'm pretty sure that would be fine. Be fine, right?
Well,
right?
Now we get to learn something along with you, which to me is really the joy of...
Yeah. We're turning this into an educational stream. If it does crash, the sound might be kind of awful. Just a warning. It's one of those crashes where it just like continually plays whatever note you're playing in the music. Alright, now I'm going to do the fight properly. So the goal here is that I'm going to use Double Dip, which is an ability from the badge Double Dip that lets you use 2 items in one turn, but it costs 4 FP to do that. Now conveniently, because I have 5 maximum FP, I'll be down to 1 FP after using that. And that'll let me very quickly use a point swap to put Yoshi at 1 HP. Alright, we could just get the free super guard every time. Just be very careful. So now he's at 1 HP. And he's gonna wreck this guy. And because I hit him down below a certain HP, he takes a turn off to detach his fists, and we can just finish him off. Totally meant to beat this boss at level 3, by the way.
Was that like 49 damage a turn?
Something like that.
Oh my lord.
Just a little bit damage. I think it's 50 first turn. And that's with his 2 defense.
That is incredible. I honestly did not, I legitimately did not know that you could deal that much damage in a single turn in this game.
Oh yeah. Do a lot of damage. Yeah, we just have another Bowser intermission and stuff here. Have any donations?
We do have $100 from Quiff the Fish. No comment, but thank you so much. That brings us up to a grand total of $2,400 so far, which is incredible and also puts us very close to the $2,500 mark. If anyone wants to help us reach yet another even milestone. That $100 donation, Quiv, also qualifies you for all of the prize drawings. So, y'all should take a look at some of those fine prizes. There were some really, really lovely paintings, perlers, just wonderful things that could be yours by supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Thank you again so much, Quiff, for your donation. Really, really appreciate it.
Oh, we have to go see Tech. Peter that was in love with Peach. kind of weird because like Peach is my girlfriend, but you know, Mario's girlfriend, I guess. I'm Mario, clearly.
I mean, what's a story without a good love triangle?
True. We have the love triangle between computer, Mario, and Peach, and Bowser's probably in there somewhere. Maybe Frankly too, I don't know. I think the computer also loves Flavio, actually.
Oh yeah.
And take the teleporter back out of here. This is kind of when you're supposed to use the teleporter the first time. Not, you know, after clipping into the room through a small crack in the door frame. Yeah, basically the same thing. Well, now we're gonna be heading to chapter 8 after a couple more cutscenes.
Oh. Chapter 8. There's a chapter we haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
I think. I'm having trouble keeping track.
It is the end of the game. But, you know, not before a stupidly difficult trick. First get jump storage off this door again so I can go to the right side. We can't really go down the west side of the sewers because we don't very open the pathway down to where the door is. And also we want to go to Dazzle here and buy Item Hog. Item Hog is a badge that increases the drop rate of items for units. And we need this because to do Palace Skip we need to get an item drop from an enemy. So increase the chance so that I'm stuck in reset heck, even though we're already stuck resetting a bunch of times. The item is really fun, promise. Yeah, chapter 8 is the number of the counting. 8 is the number to which thou shalt count. As promised, we're going to the door a second time. Bigger in Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door, we should go to the 1000-Year Door.
I just can't imagine why in Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door you would ever want to go to the 1000-Year Door. It just seems so cliche, you know?
So we have all the crystal stars. Clearly. I mean, I definitely got them all. I don't know what you're talking about. You must have fallen asleep or something.
I mean, I may have snuck a nap in there somewhere. Who can really say for sure? I trust you, though. I believe that you got all the crystal stars.
I I mean, we did get all the crystal stars because the star you get from Chapter 7 is called the Crystal Star. Got all of those. Got all one crystal star.
I see what you did there. And yet, I can't help feeling like we're missing something.
I mean, we might be missing 4 of the stars, but that's a minor detail. You know,
I mean, the game doesn't seem to care, so how important can they be?
Oh yeah.
alright, so Palace of Shadow, fairly difficult to navigate, in addition to having, as I've mentioned, very, very difficult palette skip, very infamous trick in this game, which is extremely convoluted. To get through these. No. So you can run in between these. It's kind of difficult. Quickly. Not uncommon to get face planted right away. You don't actually have to fight these, just run away. There is a way to skip them. It's really difficult, and if you fail it, you just lost time attempting it. So I don't really bother. Here, I'm gonna do another form of hazard respawn glitch where you can just kind of glide over the hazard respawn trigger there. And yeah. I think I toss up one swap. So in this room, you're supposed to use either tube mode or Vivian to get past the fire bars that are higher up, which I do not have either of those with me. So, I'm gonna line up this guy here. Good cycle, that looks pretty good. And then hit the Ember, and when I run away, I'll have invincibility frames to run fire bar. First, I'm gonna put Coops to 1 HP. Since in the next room, I have to do Dark Bones fight, or I have to fight 4 Dry Bones and the Dark Bones, and they're very difficult enemies, very strong enemies. So naturally, I need a very strong Koopa to just knock them down. Also, fun fact, in this room, if you let yourself get pushed all the way to the left wall, you game over. Fun. Yeah. So I hit them with Power Shell, and then I swap back to Chi. Because I'm gonna level up here, get 100 star points. I'm level 3. And because Koops is not the active partner, when I leveled up, he's not getting healed. It only heals your active partner. So now Koops will still be at 1 HP, something a little later. Which is really good.
I do want
I
to
knew
take
it.
a quick moment to remind folks that entries for tonight's prize drawings will be closing here in just a few minutes. So if you want to be eligible for tonight's prizes, you should get those $20 donations in now. I do also want to thank TR for the $100 donation saying, let's go 2,500. And with that, we are in fact
Yo.
at $2,500.
Yo, let's go.
2,500 hype. Thank you so much, TR, for the generous donation to NAMI.
That's awesome. Jam and jelly here. Full inventory, that's good. I have to go through the endless hallway here. This is a puzzle. You have to go up or down depending where the torch is lit. It's always the same pattern. It's down, down, up, up, down, up, down. So it's kind of boring. I guess it's a good calm before the storm, because coming up after this I'll have to do palace skip, which I'll try to explain a little bit in advance. Might not make a lot of sense until I start doing it. But the goal is that I have to perform a Yoshi teleport, which is a glitch where I can store Goombella's text box to be open while I can move around and stuff. That text box can actually have effects on other partners. And you can cause what's called the Yoshi teleport, where you will teleport Mario to Yoshi's Y coordinate, which is vertical. I'm going to use that to get underneath the door to hit a load zone early. Because how the palace is designed is you're supposed to go all the way right, fight Gloomtail, come back out and do Riddle Tower, and then the floors collapse and there's a whole new section underneath the floors. But the loading zone still exists underneath the rooms. So I'm going to be clipping to get into that loading zone early, and then doing something that will advance the sequence to the lower area is fully loaded and properly, and I can just beat the palace. This trick is incredibly difficult, and the Yoshi teleport is a one frame input, and it relies on getting an item drop, which is going to be a 40% chance with item hog equipped. Which I do have to equip now, almost forgot. So, hopefully it doesn't take too many tries. This is one of the gatekeeping tricks of the speedrun. Both in terms of learning and in terms of just being able. We're gonna do a save here because I'm gonna have to reset until I get an item from this specific ember on the left. I'll have to keep the other one alive because it's necessary for a later part of the trick. This is why we keep Koops in peril. It'll do a lot of damage, one-shot the ember, and hopefully it'll drop an item. Now I just have to reset and try again. Okay, we got a dried shroom. Good. I have to line up in a specific spot. Throw it. Get lucky that it goes right. I'm gonna do a Goombella buffer into the... and do a delayed Goombella buffer into the item, so that Goombella kind of teleports towards me from off screen, and that delays it so that the text comes up after I pick up the item. Oh, I messed it up. Then I have to run away from the fight without closing the text box, right? Which in order to do that, I have to mash A to keep the runaway input going. But it can't close the text box, so I have to alternately press A and Z because that moves the text box backwards. Also, I'm expecting somebody to comment on me calling it Zed in a few seconds in the chat room.
Zed? I feel like there's a cheap joke to be made here about Zed being dead, baby.
Alright, so now I have text storage. Getting out of that encounter allows me to move again. I have text box up while I'm able to. Now we have to do the Yoshi seam walk, so I can push Yoshi out of bounds in the corner here. I need to very, very carefully move him along the wall. But as I move him, he slowly moves out of it. So I have to push him back in every so often. Yeah. I messed it up there. He got out of the wall. Now I have to start again. This trick is extremely cursed. I promise, and I'm gonna deliver on how cursed it is. How do people find this stuff? Only answer is you find the pieces randomly, one at a time, and then you piece them. That's the real answer. I don't know how any of these individual things were found.
I mean, sometimes people don't find them randomly, right? Like, there are glitch hunters who go around just like
There are.
pushing Yoshi into walls, hoping he'll disappear.
Yeah,
That's their
glitch
actual
hunters for this
pastime.
game are very, very knowledgeable. I don't even know how they do the stuff that they do. So not only does this skip save a lot of time, it's also like necessary with this route because Palace requires a lot of things that we're not getting. To do Riddle Tower and everything, you need Bobbery, you need Flurry, you need the Ultra Boots to get through the latter half of the Palace. Not getting any of those. And yeah, to get the Ultra Boots, you need Vivian as well. You're able to skip getting. So now I need to push Yoshi to like kind of just inside the movement range of this Ember. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to Yoshi teleport to get inside the floor, but then I have to encounter the Ember so that when I run away from the fight, I get off of Yoshi. I'm going to just try this again. Brain wasn't on. So I'm luring to the Ember to a specific spot so that I can make it go low against the floor, and that makes it possible to increase the frame though a little bit here, but it's too early. Well, I get to reset and try again. How fun. I hope you enjoy being in this room. This might be here a while. I do have a save set up right after this if it takes too long, but I don't think it will. Actually pretty reasonably good with this trick.
All right, well, we do have a little time to let everybody know, if you are not paying attention to the chat, the prize entries for tonight's drawing are closed, and the winners will be announced during the finale, which will be after this run. So, any donations that you make after this point do count toward eligibility for tomorrow night and Sunday night's prizes, but not toward the drawings for tonight.
I'll always get a first try item, and then after failing the trick, take like 5 more tries to get them. That's just how luck works. Oh, that's the wrong one. I should have just walked into it. It does matter which one I do. Whatever. Oh, love RNG. Hope you're all having a good night. Did some good speedruns today.
I am having a good night. Thank you very much. Chat's having a good night too, right, chat?
Yeah, I hope so. 'Cause I had a great day of working. Really fun. least you get to hear the battle music a little bit. Battle music's good. Don't hear it enough, except in Glitzville, but I like to block Glitzville out of my memory.
Yeah, that's always the problem with speedrunning a game that has good music in it. You never get to hear enough of the music.
And Glitzville is a very good chapter casually, but it's just awful in speedruns. I'm just gonna run it. Although there are some runs that get to skip it, like get to skip all the content of the chapter and go straight to the star with a trick called Bookcase Jump, which is pretty nice. But oh, I'm on the wrong spot. Oops. I get to try again. That was too close. This part is not super difficult. Oh, mainly the frame perfect input that is the deciding factor. Of course it is. I'm gonna have to run away from the fight again. While in this state, I can't move, but the Ember is able to move. Tossing away the item basically freezes the Ember from moving. And then when I run away, because I can't really mash the button, I basically have a 50% chance to be able to run away. And it's usually bad if you fail twice and the Ember is going to turn. It can be okay because you can super guard, but like then you have to super guard for 3-frame windows. And it's not very easy to super guard Embers just because there's not really a great queue for it. It's kind of feel based. But if you can let Goombella take a beating. Generally. It's fun. That's why I swapped to Goombella in front. Just in case I fail running away, then she gets damaged instead of Mario. For the most part. Slow escort your Yabi update.
Escort quests, truly the best part of video games.
The setup for this trick on the Japanese version is simple, but requires running away with text and extra time. And also the item drop chance is a lot worse on Japanese. Overall, Japanese is faster for any percent by a little bit, but it kind of comes down to preference in the end. They have like different tricks. The overall route's pretty similar. I like to run on the US version because I didn't have to buy an extra copy of the game to play in. Oh my god. That's great. I also like just getting to read the text. The text is funny. What's the little things? We're inside the Palace of Shadow. There don't seem to be any big puzzles here. That's what you'd think, Bella. You don't know. She doesn't know. We tell her.
I think that we should let her have her blissful ignorance.
Need you to go a little faster, buddy. I don't know what I just did. That's cool. Maybe the big puzzles were the friends we made along the way. I mean, it's kind of true because we're using the friends I made along the way to get through this wall. They all played a part. Except for all the friends that I didn't get.
Well,
Includes Vivian, which is sad because she's really cute.
yeah, Vivian is the best.
She has no real use.
Friendship isn't about utility.
True. If it was about utility, I would not be friends with Yoshi anymore.
I love that emote, that Vivian emote. It's a really cute one.
It is. Good emote making note of Vivian being canonically trans. Which is
I mean, in that case, it's maybe good that you don't get her in this run on this version. Since they kind of skip over that in the English version.
Yeah, they do. I don't even know where they say it in the Japanese version. Oh, it was too late. Ugh. Remember when this was a Vivian only stream? When was that ice? Okay, long before my time. Fair enough. Oh, another item. Let's go. Don't have to wait. Not what I wanted to do. Just try again. I'm honestly usually not this good at the Goombella buffers, I'm gonna be honest. Where we're going, we don't need floors. There is no floor down there, by the way. There's only a few things that are loaded down there. There's the loading zone that I'm trying to get to. There's 2 items that are normally sitting on top of posts, platforms, and there's the door to the right. I guess the door to the left as well. The rest of the floor is not there. Hence why this is so incredibly precise. If there was floor down there, then I wouldn't really have to worry about this being framed. Just get under the floor and be on my happy way. But they couldn't be too generous.
Well, you don't want to be too generous.
Yeah, you know. Amber, not annoying this time. Likes to get up in your face and block you from positioning your Yoshi. Pretty rude, honestly. Yeah, it is right on schedule. This garbage instead. Should be good. Okay. There we go.
Hey.
Now we're here. Where is here? Okay. I have to hit this again. Chain jump took way too long diagramming. It's gonna get. This is on a timer that's like kind of tight. You have to just run with Yoshi. But you can only really make it if you kind of like get the chain jump dagger right before you're gonna go. So getting that key sets the sequence. Have a nice. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, let's set the sequence, and now all of this is loaded in and on our way. Safety save. Got a few bosses before the end of the video game.
A few bosses?
Yeah. I mean, I'm only level 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, seems dicey. I understand with the drill robot, you had a plan. Are you sure
Yeah.
that you can do this at level 4?
Yeah, I don't know. So, I'm facing left here, so Mario is angry at the door.
I'm angry at the door too. It's 50 seconds of cutscenes every time, so...
I'll be fine. I won't do 50 damage in one turn. So we're gonna use Ice Storm to blow away all the Grotus X's, which make him invincible, and then point. And then we're gonna jump on his face a few times. feels like 1,000 years. That must be why they call it 1,000 years. I'm sure that wasn't the joke you were trying to make. It's definitely an original joke by me.
That was 54 damage.
Yes.
I'm so upset by this. Whoa, Thundaga.
Here we get the Bowser fight. This is kind of the trap for casual players. We're not really expecting the second fight in a row. Gets a lot of people unprepared. This boss fight also is really, really good music we don't get to hear of. It's a banger. To BTVH. First, we're gonna take out Cammy. Swap to Goombella to protect Yoshi from dying. He did not get the super guard, unfortunately. So I'm gonna do 2 ground pounds first. It skips a bit of text if you do less damage to him first. Oh. Okay, that's kind of bad. I'll be fine, right? Need a life shroom. I meant to use my mushroom before this. That might not happen. I don't need that life shroom. It's just very nice, and now I have to get not terrible RNG. It's fine. I can do another safety save. Probably fine though. Actually, how many points do I have? 8? Oh. Okay, I guess I won't hit the heart.
How many coins does the heart pot cost? 10.
10. Actually, what I can do is use...
Yeah, that was a purely cosmetic life shroom.
Oh, it. Purely cosmetic life. Yeah, I mean, totally didn't stop me from getting old. So we're about to see Peach's goth phase. Pretty cool. Also, yeah, there's a horrible demon who's gonna end the world or something. Shadow Queen has a lot of cutscenes. Literally like 9 minutes of cutscenes. I wish that was an exaggeration. So, if there's any donations, you know,
Well,
maybe you could help drive away the shadows
I would love...
of depression.
I would love to help drive away the shadows of depression, but you know who's really good at that? The National Alliance on Mental Illness, who we are raising here for. We don't have any new donations at this time, but we are still open and taking donations this evening. And just as a reminder, any donations that you put in tonight still count toward prize drawings for tomorrow and Sunday. Tonight's prize drawings are closed. We will be announcing winners during the finale after this run. But if you do want a little bit more incentive to support the National Alliance on Mental Illness, then it is there for you. Really, really wonderful prizes. Oh my gosh,
Yo, it's lovable for eyes.
what just happened? Who?
It's the end of the world,
That's not great.
according to Pennington. I briefly met
Open antiquing.
okay, so Frankly just killed Gloomtail by himself, by the way. Just thought I should point that out. Alright, so Shadow Queen is 2 fights. The first fight will be against Shadow Peach, and then she revealed the true form. Which is the first part is the scarier.
Wow, she just
The true form is the scariest part.
straight up killed him.
Yeah. You have the option there to become her servant, and I don't know why it makes you game over instead of instantly winning, but so
I mean, it's better than the original Dragon Warrior that just freezes the game up forever if you...
you do a shooting star for a bit of damage, and then a point swap ground pound, which will do enough damage to advance her to the next phase. Once she reveals her true form, we have to attack her essentially on 3 different turns in order to end the fight. And I have to basically just survive for 2 turns of attacks, essentially. Which is scary. Very scary, especially when I don't have a life stream. So I'm gonna bring out Goombella. Nice. Nice. Okay. What do I do? I think I'm just gonna use the Ultra Shroom on Goombella. I don't know, I didn't have to, actually. Yeah, I'm glad she did that, otherwise I might have died. Jump. Swap to Yoshi. Yeah, I didn't really have to use the Ultra Shroom there, she just swapped to Yoshi. But I'll be fine. The second fight is not a problem. Unless I get extremely unlucky. That definitely won't happen. Definitely.
Nobody ever gets unlucky in a speedrun.
Oh, I forgot to do paper mode ending. Okay, I obviously have to reset for paper mode ending. I'm not.
You scared me there for a
Yeah, it
moment.
does. No, I don't have to. It is just this stupid visual thing.
stupid visual thing? Sign me up.
But I missed my chance to do it, unfortunately. Really sad. Reminded me earlier, Linguini.
You'll get it next time.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't force me to read the chat at the right time. See, look, they got out of the cage, I promise. They're fine.
Thank you for releasing them. I appreciate it. You've done me a personal favor, and I will never forget it.
So it's really important that we save Twilight Town from darkness. Like, I don't know how they would survive. I agree, Ice. Yeah, I definitely. The second fight, come here. It's relatively straightforward. Obviously, point swap into peril again. Use a boost sheet on Yoshi. Which is the boost sheet that I picked up on the way in the fire bar room. And that will make him completely invincible to any damage, so I'll be able to just attack her a few times and not die. Probably.
Probably.
I like this cutscene a lot, but it is kind of, it kind of gets old. You speedrun. I just want to finish the run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
But it's a very good cutscene.
very understandable, though.
Bliss is just chilling. Probably has no idea what's really going on, honestly. So Peach fully heals us here. I'm gonna have to point swap to get him back to white. Which is fine. It's not like it's difficult. It's not a machine. And this little Yoshi, the little Yoshi that could. That's really nice. That's really nice. Cat Jam. Y'all Mario to full, so he doesn't die. I don't think he can die anyway, because she's gonna just switch back to the double hands and then charge her wave. This turn, she's gonna do no damage. Oh no, she's gonna do damage. I stand corrected.
It's a good thing that you healed.
I mean, I wouldn't have died anyway. It's okay. That's the ancient demon who's gonna destroy them. She's jumped on a few times by Yoshi.
I mean, if a baby dinosaur stomps on you a few times, then
It would hurt,
yeah.
yeah. So, the run does technically continue. The epilogue cutscenes. Or press for time or whatever, we can end it early. Matter, it's just mashing. Cutscenes are nice. They're cute. Also, Peach is floating in this cutscene. Pay careful attention. Baby dinosaur, you should ask yourself, am I the baddie? She's just floating in the air. I've ruined all of your immersion in this video game.
Immersion? That's ridiculous. Who needs immersion?
That's it. My Paper Mario game?
It's more likely than you think. Free PC scan.
Who are all these people? Look, see, Vivian is in the speedrun. She exists. Well, that was Paper Mario the 1000-Year War 80%
GG.
for the Nintendo GameCube.
Is that time?
Actually, the run's not over.
Oh.
yet. It's like got all these cutscenes.
When is time, actually?
It's after all these cutscenes. I mean, I don't have to go through them. That is technically when that happens. Like right before the credits. Hang out with the gamers.
Yeah. Thank you very much for
Hello.
showing us this incredible and very strange speedrun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hope everyone enjoyed this video game that I definitely played all of and got all the crystal stars.
Oh, yes.
We really appreciate you showing us intended percent.
Get an email from Goombella here. Caught up with all the old friends. You know, like, this is one of those friend groups where, like, they're a friend group, except there's actually, like, the one person that they're not involved and none of the others do anything with each other. You know the kind of group.
Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar. Not that that's ever happened to me, of course, but
Oh, no, yeah, of course not. The Coops went back to his girlfriend and he's a real man now. She's proud of him. Lori went back to the theater. She was fighting in the Glitz pit by himself somehow. Vivian somehow made up with her sisters. You know, they just forgave them for trying to end the world. Because they won't be mean to her anymore.
I mean, that's how it works, right? Like, if your family members aren't going to be mean to you personally, then, like...
No.
I'm... that was sarcasm for everyone in chat. I just want to be clear that...
I mean, Yoshi going to the Glitz pit makes sense because he's the only one there who actually can beat the Iron Clefts, who for some reason they're stuck at the bottom of Major League. Like, they literally can't be damaged by anything, and somehow they're not the champions. I think it's just a lack of work ethic at that point.
They're happy where they are. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, you know, that's fair.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so time is actually soon. When the screen goes to black, it'll be like an iris train. And time. That, yeah, now that was actually Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door for the Nintendo GameCube. Pretty interesting speedrun. Very difficult. Lots of neat tricks. Thank you so much for letting me do this.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everybody for all the donations so far too. It'd be great to see it's at 2,500 already.
Yeah. And folks, that concludes our Friday programming. Our Friday speedrun content. We do actually still have a little bit more for you because, as you know, we have the prize drawings. Bear with us for just a little bit. We'll get set up for those. But please give Glan one last big round of applause, GGs, Pogs, Komodo hypes. Thank you so much.
Moto hype. Yeah, thank you everybody once again.
We got those good Barba Bobbles
Barba.
in the chat.
Barba. The 253, I see. That's reasonable for third try pal skill.
Yeah, that was a very admirable run. And I think the timer also stopped a little bit late.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
All right. Well, one last time, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and switch off to our prize segment. So, thank you. Wonderful run. Very, very exciting to see. Extremely confusing. Absolutely would watch again.